are about to completely flip the absolute biggest myth of fat loss right on its head. For decades, we've been told that sustainable fat loss means you basically have to starve. We've been completely sold this idea of deprivation, the whole if your stomach isn't growling, you simply aren't making progress mindset. But today, we are going to look at the actual science of satiety. So here's the million-dollar question. Do you actually have to starve to lose fat? Well, according to medical doctor and natural bodybuilder Dr. Mike Diamonds, that is a massive, resounding no. Actually, scratch that. It's the exact opposite. People who lose fat permanently and actually keep it off sustainably know that the secret isn't eating less, it's actually eating more of the right foods. We're talking about foods that literally trick your body into feeling incredibly full, essentially giving you free calories that actively work for you. To really wrap our heads around this, here's our roadmap. We'll start with Chapter 1, Volume and Stretch, move into Chapter 2, The Hormone Hackers, hit Chapter 3, The Ultimate Swaps, explore Chapter 4, Cravings and Gut Health, and then wrap it all up with our outro, The Smart Fat Loss. We're gonna literally look word for word at how 10 specific foods act as your secret weapons. All right, Chapter 1, Volume and Stretch. Let's look at how water content actually tricks your stomach. Okay, so the whole foundation of what we call volume eating really just comes down to sheer water content. Just look at these numbers. Cucumbers, 96% water. Celery, 95% water. Sweet watermelon is sitting right there at 92%. I mean, think about it. When you eat a cup of cucumber, which by the way is only like 16 calories, you're taking in this massive amount of water trapped inside a solid structure. It's basically free calories that physically fill up the capacity of your stomach without adding almost anything to your daily energy total. Let's break down exactly how this works in your body, literally step by step, word for word. Step 1, you eat a water-rich food. Think like a massive romaine lettuce salad. Again, 95% water. Step 2, that waterlogged fiber physically expands and literally hits the stretch receptors lining your stomach walls. And then step 3, once those receptors feel that physical stretch, they instantly fire off this super powerful signal straight to your brain being like, hey, we're good here, stop eating. Boom, maximum physical satisfaction, basically zero caloric cost. Moving right along, Chapter 2, The Hormone Hackers. This is all about controlling insulin and cortisol. Now we're moving from just physical stomach stretching to actually hacking our hunger and stress hormones. Let's break down this definition word for word. Acetic acid. Now I know most of us just think of pickles as, a crunchy little sandwich sidekick, but the vinegar in those pickles contains this specific, simple compound. See, when you eat carbs, your body breaks them down into glucose, right? That triggers your pancreas to release insulin, which is kind of like a traffic controller deciding if that glucose gets used for energy or stored away as fat. Well, acetic acid actively slows down the rate those carbs break down. And this right here brilliantly shows the real-world impact of that. This data is actually backed by research from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and it shows that having vinegar, like literally just the vinegar from a zero-calorie pickle, with a meal drops your blood glucose spike by a massive 30%. 30%! And a smaller glucose spike means a much smaller insulin response. When your insulin is controlled like that, your body spends way less time in fat storage mode and a lot more time in fat burning mode. Oh, and by the way, the study also showed it more than doubled how full people felt afterwards. Crazy, right? But these foods do so much more than just hydrate you. Take celery. It usually gets completely dismissed as this boring diet cliche, basically just crunchy water. But let's look at this word for word. Apigenin is a natural compound highly concentrated in celery that actively reduces the production of cortisol. And cortisol, if you didn't know, is your stress hormone. When it's chronically sky high from dieting or just lack of sleep, it drives up cravings and literally tells your body to aggressively store belly fat. So by crunching on a few stalks of celery, you are biochemically calming those stress-induced cravings. Which brings us to Chapter 3, The Ultimate Swaps, how to replace those high-calorie staples without even noticing. Just look at the stark contrast between these two bowls. I mean, we all know the absolute sadness of measuring out a tiny, traditional serving of regular pasta, right? It's like 220 calories for barely a handful. But if you take a spiralizer to a zucchini, you get the exact same physical volume of food for just 19 calories. Guys, that's a 200-calorie saving per single meal. If you make that swap every day for a week, you've just saved 1,400 calories. That's nearly half a pound of pure fat loss, and you haven't eaten a single ounce less of actual food. Now, if zucchini isn't really your vibe, let's dive deep into this next term, glucomannan. This is a type of plant fiber found in konjac or shirataki noodles. Have you seen these? They're these practically transparent 10-calorie glass noodles. And because glucomannan is a fiber, your body can't actually fully digest it.
Instead, reading this definition word for word here, it absorbs water and actively transforms into a thick, slow-moving gel right inside your digestive system.
I absolutely love this analogy from the source material. Think of it like adding a speed bump inside your digestive system. I mean, it perfectly hits the nail on the head. Because that gel is so thick, it physically slows down how fast everything else moves through your gut. Food moves slower. Glucose enters the bloodstream way more gradually. That glucomannan speed bump pretty much ensures you stay deeply satisfied and full for hours, totally shutting down your hunger for, a mere 10 calories? All right, Chapter 4, Cravings and Gut Health, Conquering the Sweet Tooth and Healing Digestion. We absolutely have to tackle this, because intense sweet cravings and poor gut signaling are literally the #1 reasons people completely jump ship on their fat loss goals. So, let's break down another powerful word here: anthocyanins. These are the natural pigments that give strawberries and blueberries those beautiful deep red and purple colors. But they are way, way more than just cosmetic. Looking at their function word for word, they reduce inflammation and significantly improve how your body responds to insulin. And when your body is sensitive to insulin, it shoots glucose straight into your muscles for fuel instead of your fat cells for storage. A cup of strawberries is like 50 calories, it completely kills your sweet tooth, and it functionally improves your metabolism. It's a total win-win. Okay, this next data point is absolutely gonna blow your mind. When researchers put different proteins head-to-head, they found something completely shocking about gelatin, which is the core ingredient in a 10-calorie bowl of sugar-free Jell-O. Even though gelatin is an incomplete protein compared to, premium sources like whey or casein, the people who ate gelatin actually felt 40% fuller. 40%. It actively tells your brain to just calm down and stop looking for food. We're talking about a 10-calorie craving killer that literally outperforms advanced sports supplements when it comes to pure satiety. No way, right? And hey, while we're on the topic of gelatin, look at this massive number, 20%. Randomized control trials actually show that starting your meal with just a 15-calorie warm broth-based soup reduces the total amount you eat at your main meal by 20%. Why? Well, first, the warm liquid physically takes up stomach space. But even more importantly, broth contains the amino acid glycine, which actively works to heal your gut lining. And a healthy gut means your hunger hormones can actually signal properly, which stops those erratic, diet-destroying cravings dead in their tracks. Finally, our outro, the smart fat loss. Let's synthesize this whole strategy. We've covered a tremendous amount of ground in this explainer today, looking at the exact biological mechanisms of these foods. And Dr. Mike shares this incredibly powerful insight. Working hard doesn't equal working smart. As humans, we have this weird psychological quirk where we think that if we're suffering, it must be working, right? We try to starve ourselves. We literally equate a growling stomach with progress. But listen to me, biology rewards strategy, not brute force. True, sustainable fat loss should absolutely never be a daily fight against your own body. So to summarize everything we've talked about, let's just quickly recap the 4 physiological levers we just unpacked. First up, volume and stretch, using the high water content of things like cucumbers and lettuce to physically hit those stomach stretch receptors. Second, hormone control, using the acetic acid in pickles and apigenin in celery to actively manage your insulin and cortisol. Third, calorie swaps, using zucchini and konjac noodles as actual digestive speed bumps. And fourth, gut health optimization, using the gelatin and Jell-O and bone broth to maximize satiety and heal your digestion. Guys, these are your free calories. Put them to work.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, which give us motivation to make better content for you. See you in the next video.